Welcome to another video, guys. Today's video, we're going to clear up a lot of confusion in manifesting, right? There's a lot of do techniques, do this, do that, and there's a lot of confusion and people not getting results that they want to get. In today's video, we're going to clear this up. I even drew up a picture so that way you guys can see with clarity what it is that you need to do going forward and how manifestation works. So there's two parts to you, right? Really, obviously, they're one and the same. But there are two parts to you. They're deeply in integration together. So there is your awareness of being, your consciousness, which is both nothing and everything. It's where everything comes from, the kingdom of heaven. And then there is your personality self. Your personality self is the one that has the beliefs, the one that has the past history, grew up in a certain economic standpoint, had certain parents, formed certain beliefs around love, and etc. Now, they're in deep integration together, and sometimes we can get the two of these confused, but they are actually separate. So a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to fix the personality. I got to heal. I have to convince this that I am the way I desire to be. I have to fight with this. It's saying this, so I can't be the way I want to be. This is a misunderstanding. This is not what creates. It only creates when I forget who I am. So oftentimes you'll hear me say that if a doubt comes up, does this change who I am? If the personality suggests a doubt, if a belief system pops up, does this mean that I am not the way that I desire to be? No. Your awareness of being is not influenced by your appearances. It's not influenced by your emotional state. It's not influenced by the thoughts going in your head. In and of itself, it changes nothing. It's very similar to me saying that I'm in a loving relationship and then my SP says, I don't want to be with you. Does that mean that I'm not in a loving relationship? Not at all. And if it does, I have not resolved in my decision that I am the way I desire to be. So this is such a misconception that we need to change this. We have to fight with the personality. We have to fight with the ego. This is not true at all. I do not need it to be in agreement with who I say I am in order for me to manifest. This is why you hear a lot of people say, well, I had doubts, I had fears, I had this, I had that. Well, yes, that was coming from the personality. However, you continue to decide that you were the way that you desired to be. You remembered this truth. Here's another misconception. I have to affirm all day. I have to visualize all day. I have to make it so. What I found is that is also untrue. The reason why is because all things exist within consciousness now. Everything you can think of exists. That's how you can create it. Now, Neville says that the spiritual self talks to the flesh self through the medium of desire. And all he does is sit at ready obedience to its voice and accept that he is now the way that it is that he desires to be. That's it. And stays there. So regardless of what this self does, the personality, he remains as he desires to be. That's all we do when we're manifesting, is that we continue to remember we are that way. There's nothing I can do. This would imply misunderstanding. If I'm affirming all day long, it implies that I need to do something to make it happen. It's not already that way, which are both untrue. It is that way, and that's why you have the desire for it to be that way now. So just simply acknowledge that you have the desire. All you have to do. Anytime you think of the thing, whatever it is, SP, money, whatever it is, simply go to the end. Thank you that I have it. That's all you need to do. Continue to remember, not force, not control, not try to be, not try to convince. Remember, submit to the fact that you are the way you desire to be in consciousness now. So what doubts come up? What does that change? Does a doubt change who I say I am? No. Here is where we get into trouble, is when I forget that I am, and my I amness merges with the doubt. That's where we have problems. Because now I forgot who I am, and I became what the doubts or the beliefs are suggesting of the personality. This is where I get into trouble. So when I say disidentify, what I mean by disidentify is that I am aware that I am the awareness. Now, the awareness is all you desire to be by default. It is custom to you. When you are in the state of being in flow or present or your I amness, you are by default who it is that you desire to be automatically, and everything manifests from there. So this is my whole point to where it's like I don't need to do anything because I don't consciously affirm anymore. I don't consciously visualize anymore. And yet I'm so blessed I don't get an opportunity to pray for anything anymore. The reason why is my awareness, me being the way I desire to be, is the way that I am when I'm being present. I don't have to affirm for this. I don't have to try to control it or make sure I'm in the right state. I simply fall into the perfect state automatically, being as I am. So that is the only challenge that I can have, or the only problem that I can have, is if I am not aware of who I am and I start identifying, or I start getting lost in the stories about the self, the personality, the little I, the limited beliefs, whatever you want to call it. There's many different names for it, the same fundamental challenge. And that's where I start getting in trouble. However, if I can stay conscious and have doubts, these will do absolutely nothing. A doubt doesn't do anything without me becoming it. You see? This is the only place the problem comes from. So again, I solve this by whenever I think of something, I remember that I am it or I have it, and I do not move from this position. Doubts come up, that's fine. It doesn't change anything. The only way that I can have the appearance of illusions, or that I am not the way I desire to be, is if I merge with this little I's suggestions, or these doubts, or these fears, or these what my senses suggest. That is the only way. So to sum it up, this is why simply being consciousness is all you need to do to manifest. I said in my last video, and this has been truth for me, you can either think thoughts from the premise of the wish fulfilled, or you can think nothing and you will get the same results. Because the thing is who we think is the doer is actually, in fact, not the doer. There is no doer. There is only consciousness experiencing itself. Consciousness is the doer, and I observe. You observe. You observe the perfection and the bliss and the harmony and the love and the abundance automatically flow to you when you release the little I's suggestions about money or your relationship or your SP. When you let go of these, you automatically then be the way that you desire to be. So you see, manifesting isn't about adding anything on to you. You're perfection. And you don't do anything to be this way. You don't do anything to be abundant. You don't do anything to be love. It is your birthright. It is given to you by grace. It is just simply who you are for absolutely no reason. That's the truth. There is no reason why you're perfection. There is no reason why you're rich. It is just simply who you are. It's your birthright. It is just the way it is. You don't do anything to earn this. So allow everything to flow. All you need to focus on is being present and not imagining to the contrary of the desire. And when I mean imagine the contrary, no inner conversations from the premise to the contrary, no reacting to appearances that suggest that you aren't the way you desire to be. Because all this does is this makes you identify with, again, being the old self, and whatever it is that you identify with is what you create in your reality. I love you guys.